Now it's time for Movie Friends with your hosts Michelle and Seth. We're talking film without pretension. We're finding cats that are unexpected. We'll watch a movie, film, or schmovie, and we want you to join our journey. So subscribe and share this podcast, or this might just be the last of the Movie Friends. We're movie friends. We want to be your movie friends.
Welcome to New Release Review, part of the Movie Friends podcast. My name is Seth.
And my name is Michelle.
Today we are talking about The Bride! Exclamation point from 2026. This is written and directed by the great Maggie Gyllenhaal. Now, we will be discussing spoilers throughout this entire episode. So please, if you haven't seen The Bride, which, guessing by the weekend box office, there's a good chance you haven't, do not listen to this. Shut it off. Go watch the film and then come back and listen. Our guest for today, she is a writer, an actor. She's the host of the Make Me a Nerd podcast. Mandy, how are you?
I'm terrific. How are you guys?
I was doing better before I saw this film today, but I'm trying to get better.
You're just jumping right in. You don't hold back.
Well, no. Before we really start, Michelle, how are you though?
I'm doing well. It is beautiful here. Finally, we have sunshine on Long Island, and it's 60 degrees, and I feel like there's hope again.
Me too.
I know it. In Los Angeles, it's 80, and it's always this way. And
right.
na 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 na.
Yeah. Well, so Mandy, before we start talking about The Bride, can you give our listeners an idea of what your show is all about?
Sure.
How it started, what you do over there?
Yeah, Make Me a Nerd is a weekly podcast in which I explore the world of nerd culture. I am a mainstream person. I'm a Swiftie. I love fantasy football. And all of my friends are into Dungeons and Dragons and video games and sci-fi and fantasy. And I'm like, nope, not for me. So when I turned 50, what? You don't look 50, Mandy. You look so much younger. Oh, thanks, guys.
I'm literally, Mandy, I gotta tell you.
No way.
I've been listening to your show all week, and I was like, I think Mandy's maybe a few years older. Michelle
That's
and I
what
are
I
like
thought
37,
too.
38.
I thought, like, same.
But when I turned 50, I thought, why have I been avoiding this? There's got to be something to it. I'm like the idiot at the dinner party who's like, oh, I've never seen Star Trek. I've never seen Jurassic Park. I've never read A Wrinkle in Time or any of these things. And that all ended about a year plus ago when I started this podcast. So people come on and they nerducate me, and I figure out what I've been missing out on my whole life.
Wow. And do you find that you're welcome to it? Like, you're very much into what you're being educated on? Because I can imagine I would have to be in the mood for that, if that makes sense.
Only a few things have been a bridge too far. I always joke
Okay.
about Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension. Like, come on. That is too far.
Fantastic film. Seminal film. I watched that when I was 11 and really changed my my life there.
But it does have a cult following and people love it.
Yeah.
I couldn't get on board. There have been very few things that I really just couldn't get on board with. There's a lot I don't understand, but in every show or movie I try or book or podcast, I find stuff I do latch onto and that I do love. So, and I'm branching out into things that aren't necessarily nerd culture, but people are nerdy about them. Like, you heard the Veronica Mars episode. That's, that was pretty mainstream, but it has this cult obsessive following that, they go to conventions. And I'm like, I've never seen it. What do you mean? So I'm trying everything that people love and seeing if they can get me nerdy about it.
Very cool. Very good.
Very fun.
I've been listening.
Very fun.
I appreciate you putting your own life and time on the line for the sake of the show. And I've really been thinking a lot spoiler alert for our listeners out there. Michelle and I will be guests on Mandy's show soon. And so I have been thinking about my definition for nerd stuff, which I'm not going to share here. I'll wait until we record with you. But
We call that a tease in the biz.
Yes, I have a new definition of what that means. So thank you for putting me into that headspace. And I'm glad that you're able to find something that you enjoy out of everything, because we're here to talk about The Bride 2026.
And I found stuff to enjoy, so bring it.
This is a film that I have been looking forward to ever since it was a twinkling in Maggie Gyllenhaal's eye. The moment I heard Jessie Buckley and Christian Bale as Frankenstein's monster and The Bride, I was like, I'm in. I don't care. I don't need to see anything. And but enough about me. Mandy, how did you find The Bride?
Highly stylized, highly entertaining. I could watch Jessie Buckley do anything and be happy. She is just generationally talented. So I had fun. And I don't go to the movies all that often. So for me, it's always just fun. My seat goes back and I bring a blanket and I get comfortable, and it was fun. Do I think it was a great movie? No, of course not. But it was entertaining.
Very good. Very good. Michelle, what about you?
Oh man, I went with a good friend of mine, and
are they still a good friend, or
they are still a good friend?
Okay.
And the crowd we were with was very interesting. A lot of talkers, weird things happening. There was also a 10-year-old in the audience, which I thought was quite a choice. Yeah, so it felt very disjointed, much like I felt about this movie. There were times where I was like, okay, I like what we're doing here. I respect, I appreciate, I think I see what we're trying to do. And then there were times where I'm like, nope, this isn't landing for me. This isn't working for me. Are we trying too hard? Are we trying too many different things? Pocket shrimp is just disgusting. Why did we bring in a cat? Like, yeah. So
I highly related to the pocket shrimp. I got to tell you, that was like maybe my favorite moments of the film.
That's the grossest part of the film, is the pocket shrimp.
Well, I think maybe Jessie Buckley licking the wounds of the creature takes the cake for me.
So hot.
No. Pocket shrimp. Gross.
Now, Michelle, you shared a thought with me as I was texting you after the film. Could you share that? Because for me, what you said wrapped up this movie for me perfectly.
Yeah, you sent SpongeBob GIF, SpongeBob doing this with their arms, saying, me trying to catch the vibe of The Bride while watching this movie. And I sent this GIF, which is just better if I just show the picture, the GIF of it.
Listeners, she's sharing the famous GIF of Kombucha Girl.
Right.
Which, if you don't know the Kombucha Girl GIF or video, just search Kombucha Girl. I'm sure you'll find it. And yeah, it's basically someone saying, no, maybe, well, no.
And I felt like that was my face the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just try. Yeah.
It was a big swing. Yeah. I mean, right? Yes. You have to.
Yes.
Maggie Gyllenhaal telling a Bonnie and Clyde story through Frankenstein's monster and his bride. It was a big swing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
it's hard to digest.
Yeah.
Right.
Michelle, I'm curious, did the 10-year-old child in your showing, did they stand up and say, I'm a 10-year-old child?
No, they did not.
They just gave the air of a 10-year-old?
It was clear. I mean, maybe they were 11. Like, it was clearly they were young. But then it seemed like there was like a group of people from an assisted living who had dementia who came to this 11 a.m. showing. And there was lots of like talk. It was just, I was like, this is interesting. And I know this because of my aunt is also in assisted living. Anyway, I just think it's an interesting movie to bring a group of
Definitely.
people like this too. So that added to it. That added to the
Right.
experience, honestly.
Right.
You
Yeah.
brought up the box office, Seth. I'm just curious. Did it tank?
You know, I'm not a big box office guy, and sometimes I don't fully understand. I mean, this movie came out the same weekend as Hoppers, the new Pixar film, which I can tell you as a parent with children, when there's a big parent movie that kids and parents can go to, it's like that. It's a huge possibility that that's gonna, dominate because they're fewer and far between now. So it's hard to say. But yeah, I mean, I think it made like maybe 8 million over the weekend,
Ooh.
which is all relative. Like if the movie cost 5, that's something, but this one cost 90, I think.
Yeah, it looked
80
good.
or 90. Yeah. So it's really not looking good. And then the word of mouth is so mixed that it's tough. I never revel in not liking a movie. I want to like every movie. If I'm going to spend my money and my time to go out and see something, I'm not like, ooh, this is going to be really bad. So, yeah, I agree, Mandy, with what you said. I will watch Jessie Buckley do anything. I think that she is one of the best actors of this generation. I did watch her in Men, Alex Garland's film that was panned a couple years back. And while I did not enjoy the film, I did enjoy watching her.
Mhm.
I did not like this one, unfortunately. And I was doing what Michelle said, like something would happen. As a lifelong fan of Newsies, watching Christian Bale do a choreographed dance in a film, I was like, this is the coolest thing that I have ever seen. I'm so happy. But then I was like, but why is this happening? Do they have dance powers suddenly? Don't worry about it. And I kept saying to myself, I was like, Seth, just don't worry about it. And then Christian Bale yells, putting on the Ritz, and it's like, we know that you're doing a young Frankenstein thing. And then you just have to like go out and say that you're doing a young Frankenstein thing. Oh, I had a lot of problems. I did not enjoy this.
I just kept thinking, like, what would I have liked better? What could we have removed or added more of, or maybe rearranged? How did you guys take the Mary Shelley of it all? Did this work for you? Did you like it? Should have been done differently?
I was immediately intrigued that the movie opens with just a shadowy face, and it's Jessie Buckley as Mary Shelley claiming she's going to possess a woman and avenge equality. We can go there later, but the mistreatment of women and how Mary Shelley wasn't viewed as an equal in her time. Great, but then that's not really what it is. And then they kept cutting back to that grainy, shadowy Jessie Buckley monologue, which I could have just watched that. I love her, but it didn't pay off within the context of the movie. The whole Mary Shelley possessing Ida didn't feel like it was necessary.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, when we opened with that, and I always sit all the way in the back, middle back. That's where I sit, and so my whole field of vision is just 3 stories of Jessie Buckley's face, and she's doing this really maximalist like acting, and I loved it. But what across the board just didn't work for me was the writing in the movie. Like it looks good, and I think that everyone is performing the dialogue to the best that they can, but so often the words that are coming out of their mouths, it's either just not good or it doesn't make sense, like Mandy said, in conversation with the rest of the film. I was actually like, oh, that's a really interesting device. I liked the knock knock thing for this omnipotent narrator to keep coming back in, and then that's returned in the end when Ida knocks back to Mary Shelley. I thought that was cool and fun and interesting. But okay, one thing I will say, not to be, an elder millennial, but I had a hard time telling what people were saying sometimes. I was like, I need subtitles. I literally can't tell the words that are coming out of their mouths.
And I am a big Christian Bale fan, and he was very heartbreaking and heartwarming and compelling. What the fuck was up with his accent? It was British, then he said he was Swiss, then he was Chicago, New Yorkie. It was like, what are you doing, Frank?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Frank kind of seemed to change. I feel like a lot of the characters kind of seem to change with whatever was happening. When we meet Frankenstein's monster in the movie, he's closer to, I would say, the book version, where he is intelligent. He's not wanting to be a criminal. He's not wanting to scare people. He's a victim of what someone else has done to him, but he still seeks the position of what has been thrust on him, which is, humanity and life. And when he first goes to Dr. Hold on, I want to say this
Cornelius?
right. I'm going to say
Euphoria. Annette Benning.
Euphronius. I was going to say, I was going to say Dr. Nefario, which I know is the doctor, the mad scientist from Minions, and I wanted to get that right. But when he first goes there, it's closer to Mary Shelley's creature. But then he's like whooping and hollering that the bride is murdering people. It just felt like there wasn't a consistent tone for any of the characters throughout the course of the movie. Euphronius is an odd stand-in for the mad scientist, because Frankenstein is insane. Like he's possessed by this idea of overcoming nature and God and becoming God, right? And Euphronius is just kind of like, I just run a thing here, but I also have all the equipment to do the thing that you're asking me to do, and I can kind of do it at the drop of a hat, but I don't do that thing here.
Well, but I thought they explained that. And first of all, kudos for casting a woman. That was pretty cool. It wouldn't have been such 20 years ago.
The incredible Annette Benning, who I thought was good.
Yeah. And she explains that she reanimated her husband when he passed because she couldn't handle the grief. And then she had to put him to sleep because he was so off and he wasn't the same. So I bought the whole, like, I have all the equipment, but I don't use it. Once we learned that backstory, I was on board. My nerd alert here, when the film starts with a bunch of drunk young people all partying, it looks very Dorothy Parker and the Vicious Circle, and they're all making too much noise at a restaurant, and they call her Ida, and Jessie Buckley plays Ida. And then they're like, oh, that's the notorious mobster, Mr. Lupino. And I was like, oh my God, they're referencing Ida Lupino. That's so cool. Yep. But then there was no real payoff for it. It was just a wink for us film nerds. It was just like, get it? We have those two names in the same scene. But,
right.
And,
much like Penelope Cruz's character, there's a lot of like mixing and matching of different names. Like when he says, your name's Ginger, and then he's like, oh no, actually it's not. It's Penelope Rogers. And I was like Ginger Rogers? And then she says a few minutes later, she's like, wait, like Ginger Rogers?
In case you missed it.
Right. Yeah. There is a lot of references to film stars of the 1920s, 1930s, 1940s, which I thought was cool. I came away thinking, like, I think that this is like just a list of everything that Maggie Gyllenhaal thinks is like really cool. Like it's really cool. And I wanted to think it's cool too.
Yeah.
And I just like couldn't. What did you guys think about the few times when Frank and then later Frank and the bride see themselves in the film that they're watching on the screen.
Yeah, I liked that. Just picturing yourself in the film. I think this movie is a big love letter to film, and so it kind of reminded me of Buster Keaton, and when he's the projectionist, right, and he pictures
Oh, right.
himself in films. If we picture ourselves in films, that's how I took it. I actually liked that.
And well, I also loved Jake Gyllenhaal as Ronnie Reed, America's, he was supposed to be like a Gene Kelly. And
hmm
and I thought he was really fun. Uh yeah, I mean, we've seen this a million times. This character who's so moved by film that, cinema paradiso. Like it's just I think it's pretty done. I didn't think it was necessary uh in this movie. I wish there was something else that moved Frankenstein, but they needed this device of like where are they on the run to? Wherever Ronnie Reed's movie is playing next.
Right.
Yeah,
Which was so
right.
obvious.
Yeah, it didn't like I said, it didn't quite work for me. And we Michelle and I just covered the film from 1977, House, the Japanese film, and talking about surrealism. And then we're also gearing up to talk about Ed Wood and Plan 9 from Outer Space and this idea.
Where are you going to do
of,
that?
Well, a couple places.
Oh, really? Not just me? You're cheating on me?
No. For us and for you,
Yeah.
And so
Okay.
I'm in this. I'm very much in this headspace of what is quality and surrealism versus realism. I mean, look, I love realism, but I would almost say I prefer surrealism in film, just because there's so much that you can do that you can't do in other mediums. And here I just wanted it to pick what you're doing, and it didn't want to pick. She wanted to do, I mean, I'm thinking of the difference in scenes between them in the empty pool versus them at the rave versus them at that fancy dinner where everyone is doing the Thriller dance to it's just, they keep striking different tones and different styles. And yeah, I will say this, I will rewatch this movie. Like, I didn't hate it. Oh yeah,
I
will rewatch this.
I won't.
absolutely
And
will
I
not.
I mean, I didn't hate it, but I liked it. But I'm not a big rewatcher. That's also a nerd thing I'm learning.
Well, I am also not a rewatcher, but I am a second chance giver. And for me, the costuming was great. I thought that the practical effects were great. I love Jessie Buckley. I want to like this movie, so I think I'm going to give it a second chance. And maybe now that I know what it is, I'll have a better time.
Maybe when your kid is 10.
Yeah. Okay, I want to ask you guys about Jessie Buckley in these dual roles. We already talked about her a little bit, but Mary Shelley and Ida, the bride, all of that. How did you guys feel?
I don't know her from anything else.
Mhm.
So, yeah. So this is my first introduction to her. I thought she did an amazing job. I thought she was very compelling, very interesting to watch. I liked all of the decisions she was making, especially given the source material that she was given. And in comparison to Christian Bale's Frankenstein monster, which I'm still conflicted on. But I will say, I guess I feel pretty strongly that I very much enjoyed her performance in this, in the plus column.
Yeah, I can't imagine saying a negative word about her. And her accent work was phenomenal because she was expected to flip between Ida, who is from Chicago and, sounded like Mike Ditka, and then back to her original British accent as Mary Shelley. And she would do it sometimes within the same sentence. And it was always clear. And I thought they both sounded completely natural. And I loved her.
Yeah, I appreciate her. I watched her, and yeah, I could watch her in anything. did struggle sometimes with just clarity, not just from her, but throughout the film. There were several lines where I was like, come again? What? What did you say? And maybe I'm just getting too old. Maybe I'm getting too old for the movies. I don't know. It's possible. The free association that she would do, I thought that was interesting. That was maybe the part of the writing that I liked the most, where she would say a word and then just kind of go off on variations of that word or that idea, and sometimes taking a path that led you through the meaning of that word and coming back around to it. And I liked that. The whole, what did they call it? Brain crime?
Oh, I'm not going to come up with it.
It was like, it became like the rallying
Yeah.
cry for
Yes.
all of the women who were adapting her look and then also going out and committing crimes, which that whole sequence did not do. Okay. So when I first saw the trailer for this, I thought to myself, oh, Maggie Gyllenhaal played opposite Heath Ledger along with Christian Bale in The Dark Knight, where he gives one of the greatest acting performances of all time. And she has come around to make her own movie where Jessie Buckley will play opposite Christian Bale, giving this really crazy performance of a criminal who will then create a cult of personality around them and get all these followers. And so I was watching it, I was like, this really is like the Joker. Like Maggie Gyllenhaal made a Joker movie just starring Jessie Buckley as the Bride of Frankenstein. But that whole thing, I really like, that lost me. I don't know, but big swings.
Like, I see what we're trying to do and the message we're trying to convey. It was just a little try hard for me. It was just, and like, you went pro-feminist movement. Yes, I understand what we're trying to do. It just feels like we're shoving it in the face. I don't know. There was just like a disconnect there.
Well,
for me,
there was even at the end, try hard captures it perfectly for me. She's screaming names of women who were wronged. And then she says, and what about me? Me too. Me too. Me too. And it's like, really, Maggie?
Yeah.
You didn't think we were getting it? Like you had to beat
Yeah.
us over the head that hard?
Right.
Yeah.
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 And certainly we, for a filmmaker who is a woman in America, who I trust Maggie Gyllenhaal's artistic expression. I mean, I don't know that I can think of a film of hers that I haven't really appreciated her in. And I understand the idea of like, fad politics, where something can feel like it was very much of the moment and then it just kind of goes away. But we know that, the mistreatment of women, it goes back to the beginning of Hollywood and unfortunately continues to this day despite that. So when she's doing the Me Too thing in the film, I was like, I want to connect with the frustration that like you're connecting all of these dots where there is like anachronistic stuff in the film where it's they tell you it's 1936, but then it's like we're using language from today. We're doing that rave scene. I think that she's really blending a lot of things together to make a point. And I can't imagine how frustrating it must feel for Me Too, for the principles of Me Too, to feel like, well, that was then and it's over. So I wanted to grasp all these things and I wanted to pull them together. But Mandy, like you said, it's like you can lead the horse of the audience to water, but then it's insulting to look at the horse and say, that's water, like,
yeah,
it's like, we know what it is. I wanted to ask you guys, I'm not a lady, you guys are.
Full disclosure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A large part of Ida's journey is figuring out her name. And even Mary Shelley, the character Mary Shelley, is letting loose herself through this character to discover her own name. the name that she kind of winds up with is the bride. But then she says, I'm not your bride. I'm not anyone's bride, but I'm still the bride. But the bride is a title that is defined by a relationship to someone else. Did that work for you guys? Did that make more sense to you? Because for me as a dude, I was like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
Well,
go ahead, Mandy. Go ahead.
Well, in that she turned him down when he finally proposed
Mm-hmm.
and said, I would prefer not to," which is
Yes.
the catchphrase. We're all getting mugs and T-shirts with that phrase, right?
Right. And we're all
Feels like that's
dressing as her for Halloween because
Yeah.
what a costume.
yeah.
Yeah.
That
I
feels
did.
like what Maggie wants, but
I
Yeah.
liked that. I did like that. I would prefer not to.
so I think the bride, because she didn't accept and become a bride, it was just this persona, and I was okay with it. You know, it wasn't powerful and moving that she was like, "No, I'm not Ida, I'm not Penelope, I'm the bride." Okay. But I did like that she turned down his proposal.
Mm.
Yeah, I did too. It's ownership. I'm the face of this revolution, I should say. I'll define what the bride means. You won't tell me what it means.
Mm-hmm. I loved that line. It was maybe the only like Turner Frazee line that I liked in the movie when she says, I'm revolting. And Christian Bale is like, no, no, no. And she says, no, revolting. Like, insurrection.
Yes.
I thought that was good.
Yes.
Okay. Penelope Cruz. How did you guys feel? I had no idea. Like I said, I was on board with this, so I just kind of avoided most things about it. I didn't even know she was in this. She plays Myrna Malloy. And how did you guys feel about her?
I liked her a lot. Probably my favorite character. I wish we could have developed this mob story more and had her more involved with it. I love a good mob story. So again, disjointed.
And
That was my complaint.
And, you hit us over the head with the feminist message of the bride. And now you're hitting us over the head with this female detective who can't get ahead in the bureau and can't even get men to look at her or give her a cigarette or answer her questions as a policewoman. And it's like, I get it. I get it. It sucks being a woman. I can't imagine how hard it was back then, but come on.
Yeah. Right.
It's like a hat on a hat, but not
Yes.
funny.
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, look, Penelope Cruz is incredible. She's smart in this. She's doing all the police work, which is pretty funny. Her partner is Peter Sarsgaard, which is Maggie Gyllenhaal's husband in real life. I loved that she put him in this real loser kind of a role. That really, I enjoyed that. But you're leading me to believe that Penelope Cruz is being ignored. Like, I'm sorry. I don't buy that. I don't buy that. If Penelope Cruz walked into the room right now, I probably would turn into a pile of ash and be like, oh my God, this is the most beautiful person I've ever seen in my entire life.
Well, sure, but in the 30s and she's acting as detective, no, you're going to ignore her.
In the 30s, she would have been 10,000 times the most beautiful woman you've ever seen because you'd only seen 100 people in real life.
Sure, but
it's the law of averages.
Right.
That's just math.
That's why people fought a war for Helen of Troy. It was only the 30th person you'd ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
Looks aside,
Yes.
I could have used a different storyline for her. It just felt like it was the parallel same story. And I just want to name drop because I live in Hollywood, guys, and I'm really I rub elbows a lot. But I was at a dear friend's house once, and they were going to play poker, and they were like, I invited some new friends to play poker, and in walked Peter Sarsgaard, and I was like,
oh, wow.
Okay, cool. So I played poker with him. He was absolutely lovely and friendly and down to earth and no ego or don't you know who I am. And I was like, that is awesome. So
nice.
I mean,
Awesome.
he's basically my best friend.
Right.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
ours now too.
Yeah,
Right.
Peter, honey, come on out and say hi.
Yeah, I agree with you, Michelle. Like, I needed a little bit more. And if you're gonna make it a Bonnie and Clyde movie, which I think is a lot of fun, it's a lot of fun
Mhm.
when Bale is saying, "Look, I've been through this before. This is horrible. Like they'll come for you." I felt that. I felt the idea of, the crowd turning on you, being chased out of town, being burned in a windmill. I believed that in his character. And so if you're going to do this Bonnie and Clyde thing, you can't also make it a detective story. I don't know.
Also, why didn't we just make his character, maybe he dated Ida? It just, them knowing each other or they worked together, make that a stronger storyline. But maybe we couldn't because we didn't have enough time to dedicate to it. So that, I feel like we just
yeah, 2
glossed over
hours.
that. Well, I know. And like pacing for me just was not it. There was many times where I thought we were going to end and we just kept going. And maybe I was checked out at that point. Maybe that was my own feelings.
Yeah. I should say, like, I didn't mind the pacing of this. I didn't mind the length of this. I just, every word that came out of people's mouths, I was like, why is this what you're saying? And yeah, the mob thing definitely felt really undercooked. I didn't understand it. I don't know. Before we wrap up, is there anything that you guys?
Yeah,
I want to make sure we're out of here on time.
I have a deep observation or like a one-line review. It was
Go for it.
Really good, beautiful, intriguing music video. And had it stuck to that format, had she directed like let's say a 10-minute All Too Well Taylor Swift movie video, this would have been riveting.
Yeah.
Because it would have been like, oh my God, Frankenstein built his bride and oh, she's got a past. And so it just felt like a long music video. And
yeah.
It would have, right? It would have worked.
Yeah,
you guys.
no, I see what you're, yeah, totally.
Michelle, anything?
I prefer not to.
Wow.
Okay. Very quickly, I just wanted to shout out the Marlene Dietrich references, the 2 Duck Soup references. There is a Fredonia in New York, but Fredonia in the context of Duck Soup, of course, there's only one Fredonia. Myrna Loy. They go to see White Zombie, Bela Lugosi film, and then all the Jake Gyllenhaal stuff. This is a movie for movie lovers, made by a movie lover, and I didn't hate it. I just wish I loved it.
Well, let us know after you see it again.
Yeah,
yes, please do.
I don't know you, Seth, but that's weird.
What, rewatching something?
Rewatching something you really didn't care for.
I watched Frank Perry's The Swimmer 8 times because I didn't like it, and one of my best movie friends loves it, and I wanted to understand.
Right.
That's the whole basis of our show, really, is wanting to understand why people like and why people don't like things. So, yeah. So I want to understand why I didn't like this as much
Knock
as I
yourself
did.
out.
But like I said, Christian Bale dancing, mwah, 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 mwah. Give me 2 hours of that, please. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. Mandy. Okay, wait. Final question.
Yeah.
For the two of you. Do we prefer no eyebrow bride or straight pencil thin eyebrow bride?
I think we should have made it more of a distinction. I really thought we were going to go in heavy with some kind of change when she's like, here, when they're putting on the makeup. And I mean, either way, for me,
Okay.
I don't have a strong enough opinion. Yeah.
Not enough difference for you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't clock it.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, Mandy, thank you for joining us. Where can people find you online?
You can find me on TikTok at Mandy Miscast, which is the name of my cabaret, my long-running cabaret in Los Angeles that I do for charity. And you can find me on Instagram at Mandy_Kaplan_Clavens, both with Ks. And Make Me a Nerd. MakeMeANerd.com. Anywhere you podcast.
All right. Well, hey, thank you very much for joining us. And be sure to go to the show notes and check out all of the links to Mandy's stuff. Check out her show. And, sometime in the future, I don't know, there might be an episode, maybe, I don't know, something, we might be there. You know,
familiar voices.
I don't know, maybe. All right. Well, hey, Mandy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Michelle,
you, guys.
Thank you,
Thank
as
you,
always.
Mandy.
Yes.
Thank you, Seth.
Hey, if you're listening to this, we'd love it if you give us a rating and review wherever you are listening. It really helps the show, helps push it to audiences who've never heard it. And it also makes us feel good to know that you are listening. You know, I don't know. Should my voice go any higher when I say
Try
that?
it. Keep going.
Send us an email, moviefriendspodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you thought about The Bride. You can also support the show, patreon.com/moviefriendspodcast. Look, I'm not even going to go through everything that you can get on there. Just do it, okay? Just enough with the games, okay? I'm not doing it anymore.
I would prefer
People are
not
listening.
to.
They're like, what the heck? All right, Michelle, Mandy, thank you so much.
Thanks, Seth.
Thank you.
And hey, thank you very much for listening. Till next time, have a good one.
Movie Friends is produced by Seth Vargas and Michelle Rubenstein. Theme music by Jean Marie Vargas. Visit us at our website, moviefriendspodcast.com, and please subscribe and rate our show wherever you are listening. You can support Movie Friends at patreon.com/moviefriendspodcast. Thanks for listening.